and we'll get
Got it.
I consent.
Consent. So everyone, welcome to the Jiu Jitsu Hour. Kieran. Us.
Boa.
Us.
Oh,
Man, so wait. Boa social media.
wait. Before we go further, Kieran, I just wanted to say thank you as a fellow podcaster and a friend, gym owner, a fine person that you are, for everything you did with the help of the show, coming down.
You're welcome.
On social media.
You're welcome.
And Andrew, you're a cunt for not doing
I shared your post after
the show.
I did it doing a story. I did a story. I even had people message me going, fuck, you're a changer. Why are you sharing BJJ shit? I was like, man, it's my mate's show.
Okay.
Oh.
That's good of you, eh?
Anyway, that's nice of me. Good on you, Si. Congratulations for doing big things for the BJJ community. Big shout out to Carl in Mexico. Now, hopefully next time you can get a couple of wrestlers over from Mexico.
A couple of Mexicans over.
I don't know if you listen to this, but
He does.
the time you're spending tagging these people in, they're not coming over. Yeah. Until I do a boxing promotion, I'm not bringing Mexicans over. Apologies to all the Mexicans out there. Or like in Seinfeld, when they're trying to make Cuban cigars, but they bring in Dominicans, I might bring some Mexican athletes over to help me roll some Cuban cigars.
Well, actually, on that note, shout out to all my Filipino friends.
It's pronounced Filipino.
Filipinas. You can get really awesome cigars from the Philippines, as would have, because back in the day, apparently, when they came over, they taught them how to roll them, and yeah, there you go.
All my Cambodian friends.
Worldwide, man, worldwide.
Shout out to all the Cambodian watchers. Just repping Kung Khmer boxing. Sorry, yeah, go on.
Muaythai.
I don't know how much you guys follow the news, but I saw a thing that I reckon could be very helpful for you, Kieran, because I think the last time when I put the disclaimer in, there was more bad than good. So I don't know if you saw what formerly Prince Andrew did. That's the way out of all of this.
Wow.
Listen.
No, you can't, bro. You can't. No, you can't put me in the same vein.
I'm not. You're doing that. I'm not. Jesus, you make me sound like something a crazy person. All I'm saying is acknowledging that people may have been wrong without taking direct responsibility for it.
Is that Jared Hayne, or are you talking about Prince Andrew? Jared Hayne. Technicalities.
Every week I wonder, I'm like, can Sai push the envelope a little bit more? Is he capable of that little bit extra? And you never let me down, Sai.
So special.
Hey, speaking of because we were talking so much about my Cambodian boxing t-shirt on, if you saw that Jonathan Ayulu is fighting the Khmer boys in 4-ounce gloves in Mother Russia, of all places, maybe pending Ukrainian conflict and World War III. But
is it Kun Khmer, or is it a Myanmar?
No, I think it's just a Khmer fighter, but I don't think. I mean, it's Russia, right? They do like 2-on-1 and shit. Who knows what the?
It might have been Burmese boxing rules with headbutts and shit. No,
I don't think it's. Oh man, I don't think he should be fighting that, especially when he's got a title fight on Aram show in May. Please don't fight with headbutts.
Yeah, no, he wouldn't be. I think it'd be Muay Thai or Khmer. I don't think it would be with.
Fuck.
Today. Yeah.
So what's the rules of it? Do you know?
Well, I think it's Muay Thai. I think it's 4-ounce Muay Thai gloves. So like one. I think it's like one in Russia.
Okay.
In Russia. So an Aussie versus an Aussie of Samoan or Tongan. Where's Samoan heritage versus a Cambodian in Russia in 4-ounce Muay Thai gloves, as you do. Makes sense. That's a Synergy. That's a Road to Rebellion style. Yeah. That's a throwback right there. Throwback Thursday on the fucking Muay Thai.
Yeah. You guys ever watch Im Yuk's Ancient Battleground shows in Melbourne?
Yeah, I remember those.
So him used to always do his main events. Were always like either Cambodia versus Australia, but he used to do a lot of Cambodia versus Thailand ones as well. They were sick.
What was that? What was that
one off on the forums back in the day too, right?
Yeah, on International Kickbox. So what was that one boy that he always used to promote a lot here?
There was Ek and E. They were like two brothers. Ek something but the Khmers used to always just come out fucking headhunting with their elbows.
I love it.
Love it.
Hey, speaking of which, might want to run this back in the editing, but remember when me and Kieran were talking about the lack of arm control and elbows in MMA fighters these days? And sure enough,
God.
Bam, bam.
Bam, bam.
What up, baby?
Dude, the dude was basically it wasn't even a crossing elbow. The dude was basically out on his feet.
On to the next one, Si. Admit it when you're wrong, buddy. Let's go. Next.
Yeah, so that was excellent. I do love to see that elbow action. That was good. I mean, admittedly, I don't follow MMA as closely, but is it not, Si, to knock out Derek Lewis? Like, he's quite durable. Is probably a good word for it, right? Like, is that a big win? That's a big one for. I mean, I know they talk about him.
He went from being number 14 to now number 3 in the world tie.
Yeah, from that knockout, right? Like, he jumped 8 places or something.
I watched a lot of the highlights before it, and it looked like it was a real back. It could be wrong, but it looked like there'd been a lot happening, and he looked kind of cooked by the time that shot landed on him. But he is he's one of those guys that either absolutely murders people
or gets murdered.
I mean, he's had some fights that have gone like really late into the fight and he still knocked people. But that was a huge win.
Nice.
Thanks, Ty. I got a little bit of money on that one.
Shout out to Western Sydney.
Yes, y'all.
Shout out to Western Sydney. While we're on international fights, who watched one? Or who watched Haggerty and Moncompet? Anyone?
It's a
too late in the night.
Hectic weekend. So, was it close?
So, I got a bit frustrated with, like, okay, I think Haggerty is great over 3, but not great over 5, like we've seen a bit, unless the dude's smaller. Haggerty obviously beat Same, but he was so much bigger than Same, and Same hurt him, man. He was pretty beat up afterwards. But when there's bigger dudes, like when he's fought Rodtang twice, because you watch him when he on that with Moncompet, he touched gloves, man, he was like jumping in and out, so active, in, out, jump around here, blah, blah, blah. By the time it got to like the 3rd round, he looked fucking tired. And Moncompet was trying to take his body away from him because he thought that's where he was weakest. Obviously, Rodtang had stopped him there before. And it was close, but I felt like he stopped doing what you would think he should do, like kicking Haggerty in the body. Like, he stopped doing a few of those things. So I think it was only his fault that he lost. I think he probably could have won, but like Haggerty in that first round, fuck, man, so quick, but really in, out. Like, he's on the balls of his feet the whole time. In, out, punch, bang, here, boom, boom. And yeah.
I just saw a couple of highlights and I just saw.
I watched it the next morning. I woke up and watched it the next
morning. Yeah, what's going on? Had the old 1774 on Saturday too.
Well, while we're just the Muay Thai and we are on one, Mini T.
Oh
yeah.
Mini T. Yeah. And Dej done a wrong, man. And to not like, yeah, Dej is older too, but for him to get a win over Dej, that's awesome. To do it in MMA, and like, it's cool that we have an athlete like Mini T who can jump across. Like, he could do kickboxing, Muay Thai, MMA.
I just really like the shot. Like, we even did it like a bit of a Mini T tribute on Monday in the gym. Is that I just really like the way that he saw the slip coming and adjusted the punch and went to the body instead. It was fucking sick. It was really cool.
And he hit him in that good spot, right in the solar plexus. He didn't go hunting in the middle of the belly where most people try to. He hit it that little bit higher in the solar plexus. A cool punch, man. That delay, there's nothing better than a delayed reaction body punch. the drop 1 second later.
Yeah, I was like struggling to stay up to watch it. I'm like, I've just got to watch Mini T's fight. And I think my eyes closed, open. I saw the punch land and I fell asleep. It was like, I died happy.
But yeah, shout out. And to get away. And then Dej retired now. I think he put up the next day that he retired.
Good call.
Good
Well,
call.
I heard that was going to be his retirement fight. And the reason I think they wanted, like, it was special to send Mini T was like Mini T idolizes him and they wanted him to give him that chance. And
Oh, that's cool.
I'm glad it worked out. I'll be curious to see what they do with Mini T after this.
He said something about the weight category, right? He said there was a clip of him saying something about moving between, because he was after, who beat Same for his title? Who was it that beat
No.
Nah, it's a PK Senchai.
No.
Anyway, yeah, I think he was saying something about like wanting to fight him, or so I think he might be moving between weight categories, or
Back in the Muay Thai.
yeah, he was like, well, I mean, I think he can just do anything, right? Like that fight against Rotang was sick, and he just took it like pretty late, and he's Mini T was great ages ago, so it'd be cool to see him jump between. It's only going to give him more fight opportunities as well to see him jump between.
It's a shame. I don't know what the quality of it is. Like, I think we did a single camera shoot from Road to Rebellion 2, where he fought, Tao's boy.
I love that fight, man.
Liam McNeil. That was the first time I think I met you, Andy. You and Manning and stuff were down, and I think Cam fought Tux or one of those boys, and that was such a sick fight. It ended up being a draw.
I like the venue too.
That was a sick venue.
I really like that. On the water.
Nice.
Albert Park.
Yeah.
Speaking of times of old, Andrew, guess where I stayed in Melbourne on Sunday night?
The Park View.
The Park View. It's back, baby. The Park View is back.
It's actually my favorite fucking Melbourne hotel. That top level, had so many good times up there. When Sai tried to change it over to the little, the deserted Chinatown part of Melbourne, I still wanted to stay up there, and I went there.
I want this to be very clear, because my good friend Stacey, who used to be the manager or whatever at the Park View, who was my initial contact, owns the Quest. And when he opened up, we moved over there to support a brother. And unfortunately, the actual place is so good to stay at, but just accessing it around weighing times and stuff's been an absolute nightmare. And I think the only other thing is, believe it or not, the Park View is less costly, but also it's got a sauna in there, which, especially because of a certain 70-kilo fighter I sort of promote, I want to make sure I've got a sauna on site for weigh-ins.
Man, it's for trainers and for fighters, it's a win-win. The fighters are in there saunaing, the trainers are in there on the piss. It's just looking at that view out there, it's mad, man.
I love it.
Anyway, welcome back, Parkview. Sorry.
Welcome back, Parkview.
To
all of the staff at the Quest, you did do an incredible job. You were great. Thank you for your
awesome
service.
Front of house were great.
Their front of house is incredible.
Awesome. No, awesome. So good.
So, Kieran, being at having been at, make this about me again, having been at Rebellion and Roots, and then being at Boa, what did you think? It's a very different crowd, isn't it?
Very different. But you know what I was saying?
Explain to people what Boa is first, please, being the Muay Thai era.
Boa is Australia's premier professional BJJ event.
Gi and male and
Boa is a pro Jiu Jitsu grappling event. I first promoted in 2013. It's been on and off, and then this was the 5th edition. It was one of the first, I think, 3 pro grappling events in the world. So it was nice to come back.
So
well done, buddy.
the one thing I was saying, I was saying to Pinky the other day, is the thing that I liked about it. Okay, so I don't think there are not very many casual BJJ fans.
100%. So you don't just rock up to watch it.
No one's going to BJJ events like they go to the footy. But as a result, right, and it's not either like Muay Thai fights, it's like your mates who do Muay Thai and stuff. But I feel like people will be less inclined if you're like, hey, I'm in a BJJ match, and you're like, I don't know, bro. Like, it's not, I feel like to me, it doesn't have the same ring of it. So what I found was, man, the crowd, like everyone knew what was happening. Everyone knew what was going on. And so I didn't. I had a few people DM me on Instagram being like, hey, we keep seeing you on the live stream. You look so confused and like you don't know what's going on. I'm like, yeah, because I'm just trying to capture stuff for social. Anyway, they would do fucking something, whatever, to score points. And before the ref would hold their hand, do you call them a ref? Would hold their hand up for the number of points, the whole crowd would yell that number of points. Like, I thought that was really cool. Like, the whole crowd was so knowledgeable that they would do something and the crowd would go 2 and the ref would go, and then the whole crowd would erupt. Like, man, I really like that. That was really cool. And they would understand when there was clearly like a very pivotal moment or when something was close. But on the flip side of it, like for me, it was like having a couple hundred backseat drivers. It's like if you're at a fight show and every single person is yelling out, telling what the fighter to do. That was the flip side of it. And because it was so quiet, you could hear guys going like, take his back, put your knee in, put your ankle, and everyone was yelling it. And sometimes...
Is there anybody, let's just, all I want to hear when I go to the fight shows is piss cunts at the bar. Fucking knock him out.
No, it's so quiet. And at one stage, it was funny. I was saying to Kieran, there's so many guys there that I go back with for so many years, longer than I do with people in the Muay Thai community, from like Jiu Jitsu when I was like 16 years old and wrestling and stuff. So I'm catching up with all these people and talking to them. But he was so quiet. At one stage, we were standing behind Jesse I, who was DJing. But during the bout, there's no music. And no one's cheering. So it's just quiet. And I'm like, at one stage, I was having such a good conversation. I'm like, man, I reckon the people on the other side of this can actually literally hear me going, oh, yeah. And then remember when that guy showed up late to training and we pissed in his bag? It was kind of like that sort of thing.
One guy did yell out, twist his dick off at one point. That made half the crowd laugh. That was good. Yes. Twist his dick off. And then, I heard a few guys close to me because I was like right on the edge of the mats filming. I heard some some funny shit.
But the reason I brought that up is it's kind of what we wish we sort of had with a Muay Thai crowd, not the silence, but an almost entirely educated crowd, because like Thai boxing, people come and watch it because as much as there's the finer details of scoring and this and that, end of the day, everyone understands when someone gets pinged in the head or hit in the body, that's impact and damage. But if we had that in Thai boxing, when they kind of understand it, that's the thing we want. But like, you guys think about your gym when you got a guy fighting, you maybe don't get 40 people from your gym going and supporting one of the fighters. Whereas these guys, there was gyms where they had someone on the super fights and they brought like 60, 70 people with them. And most of the people, I said to the security, I'm like, look, if the shit hits the fan, there isn't a whole lot you can do because there's probably 500 people here that can
wrestle,
take everybody down and stop you. It's not the average drunk bogan.
Need like battens or something to just stop
taser
with. But the closest we get to that is when you have good Thai boxing gyms and like a lot of the people who come understand what scores and what doesn't and cheer when blows land. Yeah. Like that's the closest that we get. And it's really cool when you do notice that there are pockets of like, especially when you go to Sydney, and it's like, and Andy's gym's a perfect example of it. When you have a big, like at Siam, there's always a big contingent of PTJ. and they clearly understand, and
Mm.
they yell when like shots are being scored. Like that's cool. It's a cool atmosphere.
And
Well,
the
that was the thing I really enjoyed between Darren and Carter's fight when they clinched on the last rebellion. People actually cheered the right stuff.
Yeah,
It was just for that one fight where I was like, oh man, people actually understood when this guy's landing a stronger knee. Like it actually erupted up. It's like
that happened on Saturday. Actually, there was an exchange between Lyndon and Jordan, and they literally just locked horns in the middle of the ring, and it went for about a minute, and it was just like, hey, it was so sick.
And whenever there's a bigger pivotal moment, like it's almost like a cherry on top when there's a bigger pivotal moment, like one boxer gets the other one's back or something and gets a big knee behind, and then the crowd really erupts.
Well, that's probably
like that
I don't know if it's a good segue, but there was a fight, and I really want to watch it, and we talk about judging quite a bit, and I feel like one of the bouts, the junior WMC title between the two boys is a prime example of judging styles, crowd knowledge, and the way officials are educated. And I got to watch this, and I got to put the precursor into this in that there'll no doubt be a rematch. It went to Kale, right? He's a technical fighter who's always going to have problems winning in judging arenas where they're looking for aggressive fighters. He won on Saturday. I didn't hear too much complaining in the back sheds. It was like, yeah, he won, he just kicked him and whatnot. But afterwards, obviously online, you see a lot of stuff because he was going forward and pushing forward. And I feel like Kale lost up there, right? And I watched that fight and thought, how the fuck did he lose that? But then he's come down here, done it again. And then everyone up there has gone, how the fuck did he lose that? And it's like, well, you can rematch again. And if it's going to rematch here, it's going to be the same result. If you rematch up in Queensland, it's going to be the same result. And unfortunately, whether that's the case or not, I don't know, Kieran, you watched the majority of it, not as a judge, but as a commentator.
I commentated it, yeah.
Like from what I saw out the back, Dre was coming in and really doing what he does best. And he's like a mirror image of his trainer.
Mini Brody. Yeah, he's a mini.
Yeah, and he looks sick, but like he was getting caught from what I saw on the way in, and he was sitting on the back foot, and it's hard.
And for me, it always comes down to that conversation of like aggression versus effective aggression, and going forward not being a measure of scoring, and all of those little things that we talk about. You know, obviously if things are created equal, but what I saw in that fight, and again, I was watching it to commentate, not to score, and I didn't think it was a massively like one way or the other. But the big thing for me was that like Dre was hunting for some things, and I even went and said to he and Brody afterwards, I think you could have changed it and made it a bit obvious on things like when you did kick to the leg, kick up to the arms or the body straight away, or because he did get very like leg hunting, even in the clinch, he was kneeing the legs, and the damage wasn't always evident. It wasn't always obvious. And I think people get confused. Like you have to remember that damage is such an important criteria, and where you're landing those shots. And Kale, but on the flip side for me, and Kale has a beautiful left kick, and he has a beautiful style where he works off of his back foot. However, on the flip side, because he's still young, the power isn't quite there yet. And he's got a style where you have to be extremely skillful for. And if you're not, like, you can make some mistakes and it can break in, right? But
some of the stuff he does, sorry to butt in, is you need a skillful judge to be able to understand.
Absolutely.
Flying off the back foot.
Absolutely.
And he's really good at like putting a leg up to stop a clinch. He's really good at keeping, sitting on the ropes. Like they've done a beautiful job with him.
Absolutely.
And if you're an inexperienced judge, you might not be able to even read that. You're just like, oh fuck, he's just dogging it.
Absolutely. And this is what I say. This is what I mean. I say it in the gym as a perfect example all the time is I say, you can win a fight going backwards. It's not like, I feel like certain places, and it happens in Queensland a lot, where the judging is heavily favored by the boxer who goes forward, regardless of where they strike or what they throw. They put.
I mean, that's a ongoing thing that we've said about fighters being able to win off the back foot. But also, I think we all acknowledge that you can, but you still need to score and you need to land. But I think at the same time, if Kale's planning on fighting for 20 years, even if he loses fighting that way, he's probably better off developing his style and growing into his power and his body. And it's going to pay off when he's 18, 19. But
I have no idea.
That's going to be I heard about your idea.
Okay, no, my idea is, and I think this would be a good fight for it, is we should watch it. We should do we should do an hour where we'll watch it if we can, and let's talk through it. And let's discuss at the end of each round how we would score it and why. I think that'd be cool.
The first time ever I saw on Sunday was driving my car. They had the UFC do that fucking thing where they get 4 fighters on and talk through the fight.
Fight companion.
Let's do a Muay Thai fight companion, and we'll put a band on it. And
love it. Let's do it.
Main card. So main card first up was
Jordan. Was that before Josh and Thingo and Nathan? Josh and I think Josh and Nathan.
And then Josh and Nathan after, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah. So Lyndon and Jordan was a draw.
Good fight. Great fight. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. It's just the same again.
Yeah, it's the same again. Man, those two fighting, awesome. I could just keep what they don't have to have any other opponents other than one another.
Yeah, but I mean, I like, as from a trainer's perspective, a couple of things happened regarding like Lyndon just forgot to eat and on the day of, and it really showed. Like, I think we were scoring well enough to get a win, but because of the way that he was standing, really let him down, especially in like after the first round. He didn't look that, and I've had the conversation with him anyway, so shout out to you, Lyndon, and congratulations on your 30th fight. But I think it was a pretty it was a rough mistake to make, to not eat properly on the day of your fight and put on a good show. But yeah, it showed, and that's why we got the draw. I think like Jordan's improved a lot with his outside game. His right kick was worked a treat.
Yeah.
Lyndon's boxing's improved a lot, so he boxed well, I thought. But yeah, just that tiredness it showed, and he had a few niggling things going into it. But yeah, it was everything that everybody expected, I reckon. What did you reckon?
It was a good fight, man. I loved it. I think there was things like, Lyndon looked tired coming off of some of his shots as the fight progressed. But similarly, like Jordan stopped right kicking as it went deeper in, and even was like hunting for the clinch, and Lyndon was maybe getting 2 knees to his one because he was looking for the I could see it because I was sitting ringside. You could see hunting for that elbow, and I thought would have made it even. When I watched it live, I thought I kind of just edged it to Jordan, but it was so close. It was like, man, that's why I thought draw. Cool. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. I thought that was, I
thought that was fair enough. Then next up was the Battle of the Strawberry Blondes. Fuck, man. He was winning, and I thought winning comfortably. And I even said it, like, and no disrespect to Josh, the winner, but I was like, oh man, I was lucky to see it because I literally was speaking to someone and I thought, oh man, he's just too big, too strong. And then, whoa, like on the bell was
man.
It was Nathan Jones from Nova in Newcastle, and then Josh from Chafee.
Tamworth, yeah.
Tamworth, yeah. Chaffee's, yeah.
What round did the stoppage come in? Round one.
Round one.
At the literal thing was when the head kick happened.
I think if Josh wants to keep going as a pro,
He's got to fight lighter.
Yeah, lighter. Like he looks very small, and it was he still has that really amateurish, like jumping in and out and no power. And you're going to come undone eventually. You'll get to a point where if you don't have the power in your shots.
Was it at 63.5 or 61.5?
63.5, I think.
Man, I mean, I reckon Nathan looks massive for even 63.5. When he was down and he fought Indy, I couldn't believe how big he was. He's a solid boy.
It's sad, but like he's had fights with other guys here and they've been pretty well matched size-wise. But I think just Josh is, him and Ibby fought at 59 or something. But 61 would be a mad division and strong up because you could just see it, like every shot. Fucking
yeah.
Like, whoa, okay. And someone even said at least it's the same weight division. Like, yeah, right.
And
muscles and stuff like that too. So
and Josh is now fighting on Rise. I'm not sure if you saw that, but he's fighting on Nick Traska's show against one of the Stady boys, which Stady
Jaden Stady.
Yeah.
That's a big step up.
Very big.
He's had a lot of fights, so
exactly. So good on you. Good on you. That was awesome.
Who was on after that? Palang Chok and 2.
Mate, you're missing the title fight, man. Soraya and
that was first. Yeah, sorry, I thought that was right.
Soraya Hamami of Sitsoton, beautiful partner of Aram Diaz, and Kim
the second most patient woman in New South Wales after the lovely Art Parnham.
And yeah, that was obviously over 5 rounds for the WBC Australian title. I was a bit worried for Soraya in the first round, and I was worried that it was going to be a bit of a repeat of the fight on Rebellion, but maybe even worse because Kim hit her with some shots, and I thought, fuck that. But man, although Kim was crowned the winner in the end, man, the way Soraya came back was sick.
She had full mum anger. It was like
it was sick, man. She did
that unless you're a mum.
That's not mum anger. That's
living with
Aram anger.
That was, I mean, Kim. She hit Kim with some big shots, which sort of started to close her eye over. And you could see, I think it was maybe in the 3rd or 4th round, Kim was like, "Oh fuck, I better get on my horse." Like, I think maybe after the 2nd, she thought I can win this comfortably. And Soraya just, man, she like kicked into a new gear, and it was really cool.
I think the clinch was a real big decider in that, and Kim was like landing really clean, well-placed shots. Soraya did the right thing, tried to stop a couple of them, but every time she put her leg up, Kim just had a number for that. I think I saw that like 2 or 3 times maybe, but it was cool, man. Like, fuck. And 11 months after having a baby, it's like
awesome.
Oh, damn. And putting up with Aram all at once and the dogs. So, yeah, good job, guys. And then Chok and 2.
Bless you.
Yeah. Go. Did you say question?
I thought you sneezed. I said bless you. Sorry.
Oh, that's polite of you. Nice. Nate. Yeah.
Oh, that's a joke about 2. Oh,
thank you.
I didn't even get that.
Wow.
Yeah, wow.
Anyhow.
Yeah, so, man, this was Chok's first fight as like a main with a big following, which was really cool to see. So for me, I was really proud of that.
What weight was that fight at?
Supposed to be at 67. I got the call. This is like behind the scenes stuff. I don't think it's out of school talking about it now, but got the call up at 68 kilos to say that he couldn't sauna anymore, and that was going to be it. And then I was like, oh, if that's the way it's got to be, then it's got to be 68.0. Then the weigh-in came, and granted, it was like 0.1 or 0.2 over, but in my book, that wasn't what we'd agreed on. And And, and I've been in this situation before at a weigh-in, and a lot of people in and out, and Aram and Michael were really caught up in doing what they were doing. And I think sometimes, and this is like, I feel the problem with the Combat Sports Authority, because I had it at the first Real Hero. Combat Sports Authority are overseeing these weigh-ins, and they're really anal about the way that you do shit behind the scenes, in the way that you tell them this is a weigh-in and this is what it's got to be. But as someone steps on those scales, most of the officials will just go, yeah, good, off you go. Instead of saying, hang on, wait there, stay with the promoter or the they just say, yep, off you go. And as a fighter who's hungry and just doing their thing, they'll go like, fucking sick, I'm off. And he didn't hang around, and he'd gone. And by the time the guys got a chance to speak to him, he was gone as well. So, and already eaten and everything like that. And I mean, that's my side of the story. Might be different the other way around, but so in the end, he was significantly over. But Chalk trained the house down for this fight because he knew he had a bit of pressure, and there was a bit of G up online, which is really cool. I don't care what anyone says, like, oh, is it disrespectful? Whatever. I think the sport needs a little bit more.
Absolutely, it does.
Sport needs more of that stuff to an extent. And the way Chalk fought, man, counter fighter. But round 1 and 2, I think 2 tried to sit back to force Chalk to come forward. But Chalk being Chalk, he's fought that way for over 100 fights, and he's a professional sleeper. He's not going to move. He'll just wait for you to come to him no matter what. And I think, and then try to pick it up a little bit. And I just think he fought a brilliant fight, man. Like, I'm so proud of him, and of course he'll listen to this. I was just stoked with the way that after all the shit, not just with the weigh-in and stuff, but the way that he's fought and things said about him in the past, I think, he did a great job. So
it was awesome, man. He
did. And Chalk can still get down, he can still get down to 63.5, 64 with training.
Like he's walked today, he'll be 67, like, pretty much. So
awesome, man.
Yeah, but he's becoming more of a man. Like, he's a late bloomer. He's starting to get guns and.
Let's hope for you, Kieran.
All right.
How was the show overall? Shout out to Greeny and Aram for doing a show out in
Shell Harbour. It was sick. They had a cap on the numbers. We bought a bus down, which I recommend. I can't recommend enough how awesome that is for any gyms. We've even got to travel like half an hour to an hour to 2 or 3. That was fucking awesome. It was like really well, like, budgeted. And if you can do it for your team and your support and fan base, it's a really good way to get everyone together. I thought it was going to be way more expensive than that, but it's really reasonable to get a 50-seater bus down there. And if it's going to go on down there again, I'll do the exact same thing. But I do have to say, like, from the Sydney gym's perspective, it's a hard sell unless you've got like a strong supporter base to go down and travel for 2 hours.
Man, I'm going to do that thing that I do seem to do once every fortnight, which is say something on a podcast, which invariably annoys people. Oh. I just think
someone on this has to do that, and that's your role.
I just think, like, if people especially gyms, I know there are gyms that have said they didn't want to be in Sydney, that didn't want to be involved because of the distance to Shell Harbour from Sydney. To me, it's just that's just bullshit, man. I've been driving to Sydney for 15 years for fight shows, 3 hours from Canberra. It's not don't. Nah, it's bullshit, man. I don't buy that, man. Like, it's not that.
I enjoy a road trip anyway, man. Like, I think it's a good team building experience. It builds character and culture in your gym. It's a hard sell, and you got to really pump it and push it for that to happen. And you got to have charismatic people who are fighting to help with that. But yeah, it's hard, man. People are just lazy. It's hard enough to get people to buy a ticket to go to fucking a show in advance. So my concern is if it gets bigger, can the stadium be filled based on the travel? I hope so. And I hope because of the gym down there, and I hope because of the Fight Works guys and the Wollongong people can get behind it, because like it's not much happening down there. So that would really help. But again, that's got to go to the general public to actually get on top of that as
And
well.
if gyms, if you're training your fighters, like if you have them match 4, 5, or 6 weeks out, and you've got your fighters training that far out, start trying to sell and promote tickets from that far out too. Why not? You have the lead time. Like start getting people on board the same time. Use it as a system. You don't have to wait until 1 or 2 weeks out, and then you have to hit up like Sai or Andy like 3 days out. Like, hey, I've got all these tickets left, or I haven't done this, or I haven't. Man, just come on, guys.
The amount of effort people make to promote their own fights or their fighters' fights sometimes astounds me. Like,
yeah, sad.
We go through the reports, and it's like, I know people go, I've heard people say this before, it's not a fighter's role to sell tickets. Bullshit, it's not. Bullshit, it's not. If you can't get 10 people at your gym and 10 people outside of your gym to show up to watch you fight, why do you think perfect strangers want to watch that? And like, again, Eddie Hearn, probably the second biggest promoter in the world after Dana White. I see his press conference and he's talking about, this is Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing, about, and then, we're getting a good turnout, blah, blah fighter who's fighting for like a European title. He's already ordered 5,000 tickets. And it's like, man, you might think, fucking promoters, they should do the ticket selling. We're eventually going to get sick of that. And we're going to like, we've got so many things to do. You can't I've had fighters show up and sold, Melbourne fighters fighting on a show have sold between 0 and 3 tickets. 0 and 3 tickets. And I pay everybody on the show, right? So like, you can't even sell enough tickets to pay for your own ticket. It's like, man, I don't say anything to them. Sometimes like I'm getting to the point of going, if you can't cover at least your own purse, like you're taking the piss.
It's a business. Sport is a business.
But you want the sport to grow. And everybody goes, why isn't Muay Thai bigger? And why can't we do this? Exactly. And why do fighters not get paid more? I'm like, man, like,
look at the Lopez and Cambosis fight. That got juggled between things, and I don't know the ins and outs of all of it, but I do remember in a few boxing articles them saying that, the Lopez was one of the lowest selling world champs, and like they had to really struggle to even get that to happen because he wasn't selling enough tickets. And that's not Cambosis' problem. I'm sure when they announce that Cambosis versus Lomachenko in Melbourne, when that gets signed, it's a fucking sellout.
Like that, man.
3 out of 2 people in Melbourne are Greek, and they'll be showing up to watch that. So
come to that.
I mean, what about when Whitaker and Adesanya first fought in at like Etihad or Marvel or whatever it was, right? Boom. I mean, even when like Ronda Rousey, didn't Holly Holm knock out Ronda Rousey in Australia? Wasn't that
Melbourne? Yeah.
Yeah, man. Like even people like them, like they just, fuck.
Anyway,
pull your weight, guys.
So so know your worth as a fighter. Try and increase your worth as a fighter, because there's nothing more disappointing than being a promoter like Sai. I'm not that good at it, but trying to bring interstate people in, flights, accommodation, food money, your purse, their purse. Just think about the dollar value of your fight, and help the promoter make the dollar value of your fight. If you're getting $500, try and sell that. If you're getting 1,000, if you're asking for 2, 3, 4,000, make sure that you're the fighter that can actually sell $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 worth of tickets before you fucking ask for that.
And Andy, like, let's be real, and you kind of alluded to it. If you guys want the ARAM and Greenies to be bringing out the 2 Brazilians to fight Jonathan and Chad, and you want those sort of fights in the estate, you gotta like, you don't gotta do anything. Don't say later on, why are there only amateur fights in Sydney and why don't people get paid? It's like, well, that's like you who is involved in it, and you as a coach don't promote your own, like the professional side of your sport. Then let's just run gyms and do recreational athletes.
I'd much prefer that. And then the ticket prices, I saw a couple of things, people complaining about ticket prices. Like, I know it's hard, but it's a night out. Professional athletes, you're going to pay 60, 70. I even saw a fucking $80 amateur show. Or you want to go and watch, and everyone who came and everyone who comes loves seeing the pros, and that's why you want to go for it. Understand that those guys, even though they're not the most highest paid athletes in the world, it costs money to put those guys on. So understand that your ticket price is literally going straight back to them. So anyway.
And the quality and the level, like the fact that you have access to some of the professional fights that we have domestically now, fucking awesome.
They're on fucking all these things, and you can literally go up and watch them warm up and shake their hand and say g'day and get a photo with them.
I think people fail to realize the level of professional Thai boxing that we have sometimes that you can watch. Like sometimes it's not getting better, guys. Like just because the show is small, you should see that as an incredible opportunity, not because half of these people, they don't realize it's like, okay, you might pay fucking $300 for a very good UFC ticket, but you don't realize that their Muay Thai equivalents, you can go and watch for 60 or $70 at fucking Shell Harbour. Do you know what I mean? Like that's awesome. Realize what you have, or you can go to, like it's like rebellions. Look at some of these, like of the rebellion cards. When Sai was doing like Yakub and Toby and all of these guys, like, fuck, you have to realize this is very, 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 very high level Thai boxing. Yeah. You have unbelievable access to these fights.
Yeah, even 2 and Chalk, like that's a fucking
sick fight. Awesome fight.
Yeah, and then you hear people like Matt Lucas from overseas and other people talking about Australia like as a hotbed of Muay Thai talent, and then look at what Eruption does. They're up there and they have like fucking the bells and whistles, and they got top quality guys fighting. Anyway, get behind your fucking local promoter, guys. Get behind them. If they got pros on and they're charging the right amount, I'm sorry, but if you're going to charge top dollar for amateur only fights, then you're only hurting the sport. That's for sure.
For sure. How are we doing next week? Is this going to be a multi-time zone podcast next week?
Wednesday before.
Might have to miss another one next week, eh?
Before we go. Oh, you're going to be in Singapore already.
No, but I'll be, but the time difference is only a couple of hours.
I'm going to Dubai on Wednesday night.
Man, they're big WMC world title, one championship. We got to talk about them before.
Andy, can you do me this one favor when you go to Dubai? There's a Iranian kebab shop in Dubai. Shut the fuck up. This is important. Adults are talking.
Send it.
Speaking to people who like to see the pros, go to this kebab shop in Dubai. There's been several travel documentaries. Their family's been there forever. Can you please go there and eat there and report back?
Can you send me the address, please?
100%.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
Are you gonna shave it before you go, or are you gonna? Don't, man. Come on.
I was tempted to make it more hectic and just go full like shaven and that, but I think
just not.
I don't think people there are going to appreciate the irony or the.
Yeah, I do.
You reckon Dubaians? Do you reckon Dubaians appreciate a good mullet? I don't know.
No.
All right. Well, next Wednesday, hopefully, we'll see.
Maybe the Australian expats, the Aussie expats might, but
yeah, they'll be embarrassed.
Attack of the three bald heads.
They'll be the Australian expats will be like the good hardworking Thai trainers here who get embarrassed by shithead Thai trainers who fuck people over. It'll be the equivalent.
Attack of the Bald Heads can be our new theme song. Sorry, go on.
Why?
Sorry, Andrew.
Nice.
Nah, it's got to be said, eh?
Hey.
Shout
out to all the hardworking, honest Thai trainers in Australia who work their fucking asses off, do the right thing.
Care about
them.
So many of them, man. There's so many good people here, and there's so few shit ones. But it's crappy when people go, Thais. It's like, yeah, we know Thais, and they're fucking good people. So,
yep. Agreed.
Speaking of shit, people, make sure Max McVicker doesn't get near the Zoom next week. Actually, maybe I should Zoom with Max next week.
You can have Chalk. Actually, Chalk will be here, so you and Chalk can do it as well.
Oh yeah, it can be me, Max.
Yes.
So I think up everybody.
No.
He's man, I loved his promo video. And who was it? Was it B or who was putting up the videos on Insta of him doing like the fake ringside? Or was it Beck or who put those?
Beck DZ.
Awesome.
Me.
No, I wasn't sure. That's why I was asking.
Oh, okay.
That's why I just said, or was it Beck or was it Beck? Fuck, bro. Come on, man.
But I do appreciate that you're pretending not to know who it was, Kieran, because
with size
we're going to go into severe. Anyway,
Here we go.
Pull
out, man.
All right. Peace out, everyone. See you next week. And
stay classy.
Stay classy.
San Diego.
Prince Andrew.
Fuck